Hi to everybody in the chat. I see Barnaby out there. Michael N is with us. PC is always here. Pepper Roberts. And that's all I see right now. Thanks everybody for coming and watching. We're going to take a look at some political news stories and probably have a little fun with it too at the same time. That's kind of how we do this. You may have noticed there at the end of the intro, in fact, it's real short. I'm just going to play it again, but I want you to look at the final picture on. So that little grateful to know God symbol there is kind of a play on Kentucky's, I don't know if it's like state motto or slang or what they call it. But there's a, let me look up exactly how it's worded.
Well, on the license plates?
Yeah, it's got a, there's a Latin thing that it comes from.
But you can actually get... that one, you can get one that's secular too. You have to ask for it most of the time.
Yeah,
mine's not got mine's the one that don't have God on it. But then you've registered for the terrorist.
But anyways, there's a thing that has to do, and so Jess kind of played with the words a little bit and came up with "grateful to know gods," and that's going to kind of be the thing around here going forward. Is it's not just this show, but like on the channel, I'm going to kind of focus on that a little bit and use it as kind of a thing. May put it on a shirt, something like that. I don't know.
Can you see mine? I said y'all need Ishtar.
Yeah,
I got that from Digital Hammurabi.
Yeah.
Look at my Bigfoot hunting kit.
Oh, that's cool. Bigfoot.
Yes, it has stickers and I don't know. I think a net. It says you can catch Bigfoot in a net.
A net.
Anyway, this Dave sent me this. This was my secret prize.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dave said he expected me to catch a Bigfoot with it here pretty quick.
What's up, Jay? Good to see you.
Oh, Jay. Hey.
So yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff to talk about this week, but I mean, I guess the biggest story in political news is that Kamala Harris has selected a running mate, and that's going to be Tim Walz. Hi, Ray. Hey, Let's Farm. Good to see you. So Tim Walz from Minnesota. He's governor from Minnesota. And let's see here. Hold on. I've got a picture and some info about him that I can actually be a little more thorough with this, I think. So that fella right there is Tim Walz. And his Wikipedia.
I wrote down a whole bunch of stuff on him.
Okay. Well, yeah, you can add to this. His Wikipedia article says that he's an American politician and the 41st governor of Minnesota since 2019 and the Democratic's nominee for vice president of the United States. He was a member of the U.S. House of Representatives from 2007 to 2019, representing Minnesota's 1st congressional district. Before running for Congress, he was a high school social studies teacher and a football coach. He was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives for Minnesota's 1st district in 2006, defeating 6th-term Republican Gil Goodnecht. I don't know how to say that. Walz was reelected to the House 5 times before being elected governor of Minnesota in November of 2018. He was reelected governor in 2022, defeating Republican nominee Scott Jensen. During his second gubernatorial term, Walz pushed for and signed a wide range of legislation, including tax modification, free school meals, bolstering state infrastructure, gun background checks, codifying abortion rights, and free college tuition for low-income families. Robin, you've got some stuff to add to that. I didn't mention his military service or anything like that, so I'll let you.
Yes, he joined the National Guard in Nebraska and served in the National Guard for 24 years, and he did the GI Bill and put himself through college. And him and his wife both were. She's a teacher too, and they have 2 children that were born through IVF. Both children are a result of IVF, and so that's a very close topic to him on that right there. The way they're threatening that, and he, as he was coaching football, he got to noticing that the kids that were, he knew they were gay, and he knew they were being bullied, and he started the Gay Straight Alliance, which
that was one of those at my school, actually.
Yeah. He was the sponsor of it, and he said that he knew that it would go over well if they had the football coach as a sponsor. So he thought, he said that it made a big difference in the bullying of the kids that while he was there. He was elected when he got elected to the House of Representatives. He was the highest ranking enlisted military member in the House of Representatives ever. He served as the chairman on the Veterans Affairs Committee.
He was a sergeant major, I believe.
Yes, he was he was a commander sergeant major.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
And he was on the Veterans Affairs. He was the chairman of that, and he was on the military, the other one, the military. I can't remember what the name of it is now, but anyway, he was on like 3 committees.
Yeah,
and I wrote down he has like 100% rating with Planned Parenthood. 100%. These not like over the years he's had this more than once, but maybe not right now. But he's had 100% with Teamsters. He's had 100% with the ACLU. I can't even say it. And he also used to have a real good rating with the NRA until the Parkland shooting. And after the Parkland shooting, I think it was, he said that he gave the rest of his money that he'd been given from the NRA, the PAC money, he gave it to a charity, and he told the NRA that he would not be fighting for gun rights anymore. But he is still a gun owner, and he still does support the Second Amendment. He supports common sense gun, and that's what they passed in Minnesota. So he wants universal background checks. He wants red flag laws, the basic stuff that we should have. Anybody with these sense would have. And let's see. What else you said? Free breakfasts and lunches. He put feminine products in the girls' bathrooms at schools. That's why they're calling him Tampon Tim. They're so cute. So cute. And Minnesota, he put in a child tax credit of $1,750 per child, no limit on how many children of child tax credit. And he got 15 weeks of paid family and medical leave. I think it is free college tuition for anyone that makes under $80,000 for their parents. Any child their parents make under $80,000, you have free in-state tuition. And they, like you said, they protected like gender affirming care. They are not allowed to turn any kind of information over one to other states. So they're protecting the doctors, the patients, and everything from legal issues like Texas trying to come in and make them tell them, what's going on. It's like a sanctuary place. They, you can go up there and they're not going to give you nothing. And he would fight it too.
Yeah.
And they also banned conversion therapy, and they have a clean energy thing that would be 100% carbon free by 2040. And he restored voting rights to felons. And over 55,000 ex-felons have got their voting records back.
Yeah.
And I think that's all I got right there. He's just great. But he's like, of course, they're calling him just a liberal. They're just like, oh my God, he's so far left. You'd think he was. You'd think he was.
I've got some of their reactions, and we'll look at those here
course, overreacting is
very,
never
very
something.
confusing.
Yeah, they never overreact.
Right? Yeah, no. Hunter Biden's laptops. I think one of Kamala's stepkids is LGBTQ, and Tim Walz wasn't afraid to stick up for gay kids as the football coach. Come on, y'all, that's real change. I agree 100% with you there. I think that's a very important point, and I think
he will fight. He will fight for them. He will stand up for them.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think him being the football coach and getting behind the Gay Straight Alliance Club and being the sponsor for it even was a big thing, because that's not exactly what you would expect, and things like that need to become something that happens more often, I think. But
like Minnesota, he beat out a Republican incumbent in a real pretty red area when he won his seat. So obviously he stayed as long as he did. So obviously he was doing something right with these people, even if they were, red, I mean, but once they get a taste of this stuff, and in socialism, doesn't come crashing their world down. I mean, this stuff they would like. I mean, anybody would like this stuff. I mean, he implemented some like housing things where you can access the down payment money for a house from them, some kind of thing. So, I mean, he's doing stuff to help people. And
let's, we've talked about all those things that he's done, and we've been very specific, and I think that with a record like that, you could say that he's an excellent choice for a candidate to run for vice president. So let's contrast that though with what Trump's reaction to this was. Let me play a little clip here, and this is short, so bear with me.
Chicken Little.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Doing that, what he wants. If you look at his record with no walls, no security, let everybody in, he's worse than they are. Nobody knew how radical left she was, but he's a smarter version of her, if you want to know the truth. He's probably about the same as Bernie Sanders. He is more so than Bernie Sanders. That's got to be your guide, Bernie Sanders, and that's not a great guide.
So, I think that Trump's response shows that he knows nothing about Tim Walz. Really, his go-to thing was, he's a radical liberal and he's bad because Bernie Sanders and Kamala's stupid. That was essentially what he said there. And
he knows more about Walz than anybody. I know more about Walz than anybody. He said that. That's what he always said.
He said that he wants to open the border and allow people to come in with ladders and stuff.
Ladders.
So,
because Tim thinks Walz stupid, because he said they can just climb over it.
Well, we're going to look at that. We're going to look at that because Fox News actually lied about that. I think you sent me this clip actually, but
I sent you him making a speech too. Another one that he's really going off on.
Okay,
it's like took local people or something.
Yeah, I don't know if I included that one, but
okay.
I was kind of editing things quickly, running up to the time to do this.
Yeah, I know.
Hold on. Okay. So let's take a look at this thing about the border and ladders, though.
Open borders.
He talks about this wall. I always say, let me know how high it is. If it's 25 feet, then I'll invest in the 30-foot ladder factory.
State. Just days ago, he said he would invest in a ladder company to defeat Donald Trump's border wall.
He talks about this wall. I always say, let me know how high it is. If it's 25 feet, then I'll invest in the 30-foot ladder factory. That's not how you stop this.
And I think when it comes to a policy record and a policy vision, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have the undoubted advantage, especially after choosing Walz today. He's somebody who's talked about even building a ladder over the border wall.
So they, this is, you know, whenever I compare the political climate to the things that we see in talking about religion and theism and stuff, this is theistic behavior 100%. This is a complete quote mine, and I'll show you what he really said. But the you know, it's funny that they quote mine the one part of what he said and then said, well, this is his position. And we're going to see more of this as we look at some other stuff too.
And all he's doing it and saying that no matter how you build the wall, I can just get a ladder higher than that and get over the wall. I mean, that's all he's saying. I mean,
yeah. Well, I've got the whole thing here. We're going to look at.
It's so stupid. I mean, he's just pointing out how stupid they are. I love.
Let's look at what he actually said.
Yeah, well, they're going to say whatever they're going to say. We just need to have good proposals. There's things that we can do. I think we need to acknowledge to folks that every nation in the United States needs to control its border. And I will add the northern border, which Minnesota is on. But you can do that using the right tools, and the Langford Cinema bill that he did kill would have done that. The Border Patrol agents endorsed it. These are folks who know what needs to be done. But he's not interested in solving the problem. What Democrats need to do is acknowledge, and he has ginned up fear, but our border can work better. There's no reason someone seeking asylum, which we will always be a guiding light for, shouldn't have to wait 7 years to have that adjudicated. That's why this bill would have made it 90 days and people either got it or they were removed. And I think seeing a plan that's out there, talking about it with folks, knowing that he's not going to do anything. He talks about this wall. I always say, let me know how high it is. If it's 25 feet, then I'll invest in the 30-foot ladder factory. That's not how you stop this. You stop this using electronics. You stop it using more border control agents, and you stop it by having a legal system that allows for that tradition of allowing folks to come here, just like my relatives did, to come here, be able to work, and establish the American dream.
Right. So not what he said at all, is it?
No, but I like the way he answers. He answers like we do, like we would.
Yeah.
He answers with that little sarcastic kind of common sense.
He gives it the attitude it deserves.
And he talks to people like that, like we talk to each other.
It's like watching Jay Bundy talk to Michael Behe.
No.
So yeah, that's it. Tells a lot of the story whenever you see that the other side, the only thing that they can do is make personal attacks and quote mine and just lie about what's being said and what's happened. And you know, as I pointed out, we're going to see more of this because that's not the only case of this. This is the most obvious case. This next clip is the most obvious case of gaslighting that I've ever seen. And this is.
Can I just say that I predicted everything that they would say, and I got at least 2 out of 3 correct on which one what they would use.
Yeah. No,
I can make testable predictions with these people.
So let's take a look at this. Is the majority whip from the Minnesota House of Representatives, I believe that's what it is. It'll say it on there, but let's take a look at what this is. Just crazy that when confronted with facts, they make it clear that they don't care about facts. They're just gonna whatever the rhetoric is, that's what we're gonna go with. It doesn't matter what the facts say. And this one we may have to pause a couple times, but it's still not very long.
Answer the question: why do you think Minnesotans reelected him with all the things that you're saying about him that are negative, and attacking some of the things that he has done policy-wise, not personality-wise, because you agree that he's got a pretty big and affable personality. But why do you think Minnesotans seem to disagree with you about what he has done in their state?
Well, you need to come to Minnesota. Tim.
Okay. You need to come to Minnesota. Not a fucking answer.
We all need to go to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Looks like it's supposed to be.
Yeah. She's so a little background here because I cut this clip down so that it would, be a reasonable length. But so what she's talking about here is that he ran for governor and was reelected, and Minnesotans support him, and he did a lot of great things. And under him, he had all these incredible numbers. And he's saying that he's a dangerously liberal, as it says in the thing at the bottom.
Dangerously
liberal. Yeah. And he goes on about how crimes increased and everything's horrible because of him being governor. But watch what happens here as he tries to do that. I just wanted to give you a little context of what's going on here.
Tim
We just looked
Walz
at the
is
election
finally going
results,
to
though.
be
The election
exposed.
results tell you
Tim
something,
Walz
don't
has
they?
been given a sweetheart, much like Kamala Harris, Sarah. The media, the mainstream media, gives these people a pass. They don't call out what they actually stand for. They don't point out that under Tim Walz's leadership.
Yeah, like isn't that just crazy? Because it's like,
it's like upside down. It's everything is everything is
the projection
is upside down, and you know what they're doing by what they're saying.
It's again like how I compare this to whenever we talk to theists and stuff on the regular shows. It's this projection again, and it's like we're just going to say that's not true. It's them that do those things. Whenever
I think people are more disconnected from reality than even just regular theists are.
Yeah,
I do. I really do believe that.
I
these
think so
people,
too.
Their whole universe is not. The believers, their religious beliefs are kind of, but and other stuff though they kind of sometimes have a little grounding in reality. But these people, their whole world is upside down.
Yeah, it's just all based on bullshit now. There's no truth to it. There's no it's not based on some little shred of truth, and then they fear-mongered this big thing. No, they've resorted to just making shit up and then fear-mongering off of that like it's true.
Yeah.
And it's funny what they do to him here, though.
Yep. The Minneapolis Police Department is 40% down in manpower. That he wanted to move money away from police. This is the reason you see the violent crime at record highs in Minnesota. The economy has been racked in Minnesota. He's not going to make it through a third term. It's never going to happen.
Right, because he's going to be vice president.
Tim Walz is a great pick for the Republicans. It is just going to enhance the radical left shift. And the choice is going to be really simple this fall. You can either go with 4 more years of this 20% inflation. You can have a wide open border. You can have who knows how many wars around the world.
Isn't inflation at like 4%?
It's that. It's like what is like 2 something or something like that. But I mean, it's lower, but ours is the lowest in the world, just about for all the all the industrialized nations. So we still have had ours has been lower than everybody else's. Our economy has still healed better than anybody else's.
Yeah.
He did raise taxes. This guy don't like it. He raised taxes. I read this. He raised taxes in around the cities and stuff. He raised taxes on the higher bracket people.
Making people pay their fair share. I'm pretty sure that's been the whole idea with the tax system. So
I mean, his policies took it was a big spending package for this.
Yeah,
and he put a lot of money in. He taxed a whole lot of them. But I mean, the people are happy with it. That's what I said. If we could ever reach out and get something done for these people, they would. They have been voting for years and getting nothing.
Yeah,
I mean, just nothing. I mean, Kentucky didn't get shit until Andy came in office.
Yeah.
If they ever get somebody does something for them, they'll be like, woo! You know what I mean? This is how politics is supposed to work. We're supposed to get shit for our vote.
Yeah. All right.
Or you can go back to an economy that was prosperous under Donald Trump. You can go back to a border that was sealed and crime was under control under Donald Trump. You can go back to peace and stability around the world. Quite short, Sarah, this is the America First agenda that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are offering versus the America Last agenda that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz will be offering.
Congressman Emmer, when you look at the actual statistics, the numbers are actually down for violent crime in Minnesota and across the country for the past. It's better than the past almost 50 years.
Yeah.
If you look at the FBI statistics, the
He's not even
Department
listening.
of Public Safety in Minnesota, across the country, crime's actually down quite a bit. I think it's 13% to 15% if you look at the new numbers in the first quarter. So why do you keep saying crime is rampant there when the numbers show differently?
It is. Sarah, I don't know where you're getting your statistics from.
From the FBI and the
Murder,
Department of Public
homicides
Safety.
are up dramatically in Minnesota. No, I'm telling
Car
you.
theft
You
is
can
the only
play
one's
whatever
up.
games you want with the numbers. Assaults are up. Carjackings are up. Murder
Carjackings
is
are up. That's the only one.
So he sits there while looking at
The facts over feelings, people sure don't like facts.
he with the numbers on the screen. He sits there and says murder's up and all these crimes are up when they're just not. Carjackings may be up.
They are up. That's the only one that's up. That's the only one that's up. I saw that.
But I mean, we're not talking about small percentages here. Murder is down 26.4%. That's amazing. That's
right.
That's really good.
25 point. That's a 1 quarter. One quarter.
So to sit and say that, like he sits and just says, I don't know where you're getting these numbers from, and she's like, the FBI.
I mean, that just shows that when people when people have what they need and you give them the things that they need for life, crime goes down. I mean,
yeah,
crime. I mean, poverty causes crime, and you know, and inequality breeds crime. You know, and if you give people their basic needs, or not give them to them, but provide it to where they can afford their basic needs and they can have their needs met, they don't need to have. You know, I mean, crime goes down. It's just an automatic thing. I mean, the Republicans should know this by now. They've been doing this forever. They just don't give a shit.
It's quite crazy to see someone sit there and just say, well, you can play with the numbers however you want. She didn't play with the numbers. She's giving you the actual statistics on the rates of these things happening, and they're down lower than they've been in 50 years. And also to sit and say that everything was so wonderful under Trump, that the border was closed. Yeah. The border wasn't closed. Title 42 was enacted because of COVID and stuff.
And we were storing bodies in freezer trucks.
Yeah, there was. Yeah. We ran out of toilet paper. The economy was in the worst shape. The economy was in the worst shape it had been in since the Great Depression. We lost 3 million jobs. You know, it's just crazy to sit and say this, and he's got 1 million lives. Yeah,
and we eventually lost 1 million lives, far more than any other country, just about any other industrialized country. I mean, like Australia and stuff like that. They lost like a quarter of the people that we did, if even that much. It's terrible. Yeah,
it really makes no sense to sit and say these kind of things, because there's just no truth to it. Again, he just sat and lied. And you said, look at his face. That's because he was just sitting there waiting for his turn to talk. Yeah.
This is why when they started this mess, this is why they started a lot years ago, teaching people not to trust institutions and facts that come, of what they're told. I accuse Trump of being stupid all the time, and he really is stupid. But I guess he does do criminal activity somewhat well, except he seems to get caught a lot. But he knew, he read enough of Hitler's book to know to spread the rhetoric first. You're right. Let's farm. That's exactly right. Your lips are moving. That's exactly right.
It's so weird to see whatever the rhetoric is more important than what the actual numbers are. And if you notice something about this, I guess with the things about crime and stuff, at least he did talk about something that was a real issue. But they don't ever. It's not anybody's policies that they disagree with. It's these people are stupid. They're radical. They're all these things. but they don't argue about the issues because they have no stance on them themselves. They have no plan to fix any of these things. They just want to say it's bad because Democrats, radical liberals,
whatever his name was he said something about Trump's policies. And I'm still waiting to hear what those are. I mean, I've heard him say we're going to drill, baby, drill, and we're going to shut the border down. But that's not a policy. You know, those are. I mean, what are your actual policies that you plan to implement and everything? And they're in Project 2025. They're not his, and they're not nothing about that's going to help anybody. So I mean, he don't have policies. He has fucking actions or reactions or. He's going to be getting, revenge. That's his policy. Retribution. There you go. I'm your retribution.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what they're getting retribution for because they've had it pretty good for the last 8 years. They've just ran amok like a bunch of fucking spoiled brat teenagers, raising hell and fighting everybody and lying and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, there's like, in the past, we've had elections where Democrats, Republicans, they disagree on certain policies, and they come up with this is my plan to make this thing work better, whether it's trickle down economics or we're gonna we're gonna fund different things. They have different ideas on policy on how to do things, and since Trump started running for president, that has went out the window because he has no position on any sort of policy, and neither does the Republican Party. They only shoot to say that the Democrats are evil and it's awful because they're doing it, but we're going to do better. How? They don't say because they have no plan. It's just complain because everything that the Republican Party supports, the majority of Americans do not, and we're talking about big numbers here, like 80% of Americans are for women's rights, and Republicans want to take them away. It's stuff like that, and it's like that across the board. So they can't take a political position, so it's ad hominem. Right. Yeah, go ahead.
And they have a very strange obsession with other people's genitals at this time. I mean, I really am getting creeped out by it. I mean, that's like their whole thing, and what is the forever GI Bill? I guess okay. Well, yeah, if he signed anything in the bill, I know the PACT Act that the Republicans blocked it on the first vote, and then our wonderful Senator Rand Paul was the actually only senator that did not, in the second vote, that did not vote for it. He was the only senator out of all the senators.
The GI Bill, they were having to reapprove it every so often. And
okay.
He just made it to where they didn't have to.
I doubt Trump did that.
Yeah. Well, right. He signed it, right? But that, look, I'll give it to Trump on anything that he did, anything that Trump did that had a net positive effect for Americans or veterans or anything like that. Sure, whatever. But that doesn't excuse the other things either. And I'm not saying that you're saying.
Is there anything else besides the GI Bill?
Oh, there was a number of things that they did that were so they didn't have to reapprove them again. But you're just asking about good things Trump did. I don't know.
Yeah, anything else they did to help people?
He did start off by getting some people out of prison for marijuana convictions. I know that he
tried to overturn our insurance right away. And John McCain did that.
Yeah. I mean,
he passed tariffs that are actually one of the reasons why we have now everybody's going, oh, we had all this inflation. No, we have a lot of damn tariffs that have been added up on stuff. The Republican Party is
right twice a day.
Well, they've done it. I found out this tariff thing has been going on for since the beginning of this country. There has been one part there. The parties have swapped around a little bit, but there's been one party that has been committed to this tariff situation, and it put us in the Great Depression. Yeah. It failed like 3 times in the 20th century.
Well, I get the idea that the reason that Republicans want to cut Social Security and Medicare and free lunches and SNAP and insurance and all those things is because the billions and billions of dollars that they want to cut from taxes from billionaires, they're trying to make it look like they're doing something fiscally responsible, while over here they're actually losing billions of dollars. So they can say, no, we're the party of fiscal responsibility because look, we cut these things that were unsustainable. Look at the debt we're in because of these things. When it's not really because of those things, it's because of tax cuts for billionaires.
AR's right. There is one more. The bump stock. He signed that bump stock thing, which the Supreme Court overturned.
Yeah,
he did sign that.
Yeah. Now he probably supports it.
He had promised more. Right after the shooting, he agreed to. He was going to sign some real legislation, and then like the next day, he was like backpedaling out of it because I guess that they chewed his ass out. But
as far as guns are concerned, like I live in a state where there's a lot of guns. Everybody here has rooms full of guns, and I think that common sense gun laws would make a big change. It doesn't have to be taking people's guns or even really making things illegal. Although I will say, whenever the assault weapons ban was in effect, shootings and especially mass shootings were down tremendously. So we do have to look at what works and what doesn't work. And when it comes to guns, I know people get upset and stuff, but the number one cause of death of children in America is guns. And we need to do whatever it is we need to do to fix that, right? I mean, like, if there's, there's a lot of these policies and stuff where they try to pull at your heartstrings for it and things. But when we're talking about the thing with kids and stuff and guns, like, we need to fix that. And I don't care what we have to do to fix that, but that needs to change. Children are going to school afraid they're of what's going to happen in the classroom or something.
Active shooter drills. Yeah.
And that's not reasonable in any way. I mean, it's and
they're arming teachers. Tennessee teachers will have they've got armed teachers, and they're not every teacher has to be armed, but there will be armed teachers in their classrooms this year, in this school year.
So would you like to before I get too far off track going down that road, which is something that we can talk about one day, but would you like to watch a little bit of Tim Walz's first speech since being Kamala Harris's running mate? We'll look at a few parts of it.
Yes, I just want to say this. I just want to say this rally was packed. I mean, this place. Are you talking about like the one at Minneapolis? I mean, at Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was packed. It was awesome.
Just a second. Well, instead of topping that, I'll just answer it out.
Because this ain't the call-in show.
This is not the call-in show, but I do appreciate the idea of doing that.
I was going to tell that whoever it was I go to said Daniel. Daniel said that something about it. Daniel, on the call-in show, you could probably call in and maybe talk to Joe about politics. I don't know if
the call-in show, it doesn't really matter what we're talking about. If there's something that you've seen me say or something that even just some issue that you want to get my opinion on or talk about, call in and we'll talk about it. It's not limited to conversations about religion and stuff, although like I am an atheist activist, so that's kind of where I focus a lot of my time. You can call in and talk to me about anything Mondays at 7.
And my big mouth won't be there, so you'll be
you might be there. You'd be there soon. You might be there sooner than you think. But you can call in, and if things continue to do better and grow and stuff, I may be able to add that feature to like this show or something. But right now, the thing is that it costs me money to do that. Every show, they charge me by the minute. And So setting and leave the lines open costs me at least 6 cents a minute, but sometimes more. And so as the channel grows and stuff, and memberships grow and super chats and stuff like that, I may be able to do that. I just can't afford to do it right now. Is the story of it. That's really the biggest issue. But yeah, you can call me on Monday, and hopefully everything's set up and working right by then. I'm not sure, but we'll see. So anyway, let's take a look at this. I'm going to skip past the first little bit of this because it's just a lot of...
Welcome the next Vice President of the United...
It's just a lot of him saying, yeah, I'm honored, and this.
It's a way of life. Growing up, I spent the summers working on the family farm. My mom and dad taught us, show generosity towards your neighbors and work for a common good.
I'm going to just say that as somebody who went up there and moved to South Dakota and was in Minnesota a lot, delivering milk over there, that's the way these people are. That state is like that. Yes. I mean, they're very nice people. They're just, I think it's one of probably the nicest states I've ever been in, actually, as far as treating strangers, and stuff. I mean, they just good people. They have good ideals on how to treat your neighbor. Most of them do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you see that vary in how different things are treated differently in different areas of the country.
Yeah, we talk about Southern hospitality, and like down here, we're like, you go way down south. The rude as hell, I think. Some of them.
Yeah, it's not like that everywhere, is it? All right, let's see. I'll probably skip around a little bit.
My dad served in the Army during the Korean War. And with his encouragement, at 17, I joined the Army National Guard. For 24 years, I proudly wore the uniform of this nation. The National Guard gave me purpose. It gave me the strength of a shared commitment to something greater than ourselves. And just as it did for my dad and millions of others, the GI Bill gave me a shot at a college education. My dad was a teacher. My brothers and sisters and I followed in their footsteps. 3 out of 4 of us married teachers. What we do. For nearly 20 years, I had the privilege of teaching high school social studies and coaching football.
He's such a radical liberal, isn't he?
I make fun of. I have a meme though that says the reason why we got here is because we've been letting football coaches teach civics for the last 25 or 40 years. Or something like that. And it's funny that he's doing because this is what happens.
I think going through school, all of the social studies teachers were football coaches or basketball coaches.
Yep. Yeah, they were.
All of them.
Mine was too. Yeah.
Now we had one that was we had a football coach that was an algebra teacher, and we had a football coach that was an English teacher too. But all of the social studies teachers were coaches of some sort. Let me find, because I know, let's get out in the middle of this a little bit. I mean, we've talked about, his history and stuff anyway, and there's some parts I want to.
There's two. I was going to mention, when do you want to talk about it? There's 2 things that he has that are a potential problem with him. Oh, there's 2 issues.
Okay, you want to talk about that now?
That they're going to drag out.
Yeah.
One of them, he had a DUI.
Yeah.
I think it was a couple of decades before he ran. It was a long time ago. And he admits it. He come out. He apologized for it. and of course, as far as I'm concerned, with Trump with 34 felonies, I don't think he probably needs to bring up the record. But Joe said he surely won't bring it back. I said, well, yeah, he didn't even bother him a bit, you know what I mean? Because his were all rigged. And then there was, he also, there's a veterans group. It's now Boat Vets has supported him, endorsed him, which is one of the biggest group,
right,
like voting groups of vets. But there's some kind of people who are in, like, there's a rumor going around or whatever that which he'd already been in there for a long time when it happened. When they went to Iraq, he didn't go. And they accused him, like, and this was like in 2018, this article come out that he skipped out on, but he had been in there for a long time. You know what I mean? He was way past time he could retire. Why would he go to Iraq? I mean, he's not a young man. I mean, just it didn't make no sense why he would have went. But so anyway, they've got that. They've been spreading that rumor around too.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that. I mean, there's no way. Not to say that they won't, but there's no way for Trump to really point the finger and say this guy's an awful criminal. Like,
well, he still will though, because
I don't doubt that.
Hypocrisy is not. I mean, he feels no hypocrisy or irony or.
Right, and his story is that he didn't do anything wrong. It was all perfect, Yeah. Those nuclear secrets and national defense documents were asking for it. All right.
He froze in the face of the COVID crisis.
Talking
he
about
drove our
Trump.
economy into the ground.
He didn't freeze. He just didn't know what to do.
And make no mistake, violent crime was up under Donald Trump. That's not even counting the crimes he committed.
And there it is, folks.
You messed up at it. That's where he said that don't even count the crimes he committed.
We know what he said. But there it is. It's like we have one person who agrees with what the statistics and numbers actually say, and the other side just completely denies it all and says none of those actual facts are facts, and whatever. Here, I'll play it back leading up to
alternative facts. That's their word.
Well, I don't know.
They coined that, remember, after his inauguration.
To me, the alternative to the truth is a lie.
when what's her name? Connolly said that there was like so many more people there than was at Obama's, and they said, that wasn't true. And she said, well, we use alternative facts. I mean, that's what she actually said on the TV. Alternative fact.
Well, yeah, and we know that Trump has no respect because of someone serving in the military. Like Trump thinks they're losers. Yeah, but all right.
That's not even counting the crimes he committed.
Crowd loves this guy.
I did too. You should see me. I was standing up in his chair. I mean, like screaming, hollering, and chanting with the crowd. And
so far since Kamala announced that she was running, the rallies have just been energetic and just wild. I mean, everybody is really behind this and excited, and it's an awesome thing to see, really.
I want to go.
Some of us are. Some of us in here are old enough to remember. I see you down there. I see those old white guys. Some of us are old enough to remember when it was Republicans who were talking about freedom. It turns out now what they meant was the government should be free to invade your doctor's office. In Minnesota, we respect our neighbors and their personal choices that they make. Even if we wouldn't make the same choice for ourselves, there's a golden rule. Mind your own damn business.
Perfect.
I loved it. I mean, I think she did great. I think she likes him. I think they have a good look how happy she is behind him.
Yeah, yeah.
He delivers the message she wants. He attacks. He's her attack. He's her pit bull.
And what's great about this that we don't see across the aisle is that the things that he's standing here and advocating for are things that he's actually enacted in his own state as governor,
and
things that he's actually fought for, and
can show the results.
Yeah, he's actually done these things, and regardless of what kind of story the Republicans tried to tell about this, the numbers, the facts, and the statistics agree with what he's saying and doing, which I think is more important anyway. And again, listen to the crowd.
Oh, it's wild. I want to go to one so bad.
These guys are after my heart chanting, mind your own damn business. That feels good, so thank you. Look, that includes IVF. And this gets personal for me and my family. When my wife and I decided to have children, we spent years going through infertility treatments. And I remember praying every night for a call for good news. The pit in my stomach when the phone rang, and the agony when we heard that the treatments hadn't worked. So it wasn't by chance that when we welcomed our daughter into the world, we named her Hope.
What's my dog's name?
When Vice President and I talk about freedom, we mean the freedom to make your own health care decisions. And for our children to be free to go to school without worrying they'll be shot dead in their classrooms.
Things people actually care about, right?
Yes. Yes.
Like things that are actually important.
I'm thinking maybe there is a God after all, with all of the way this all turned out. Because, I mean, I had just lost hope and thought there's nothing that we can do to stop that piece of shit from getting back into office. And then here they come. Here they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like an angel dropped them out of the sky on us.
Yeah. It's so different to see, Biden has argued with Trump, but and Biden has done a great job as president. Don't get me wrong.
Biden.
But just like Ember says in the chat here, I love how the GOP is just running Tim's own ads. He believes Medicare is a right. He supports LGBT people. He wants to feed hungry children. Yeah. I mean, he actually has positions that people care about and things that most Americans support. And that's just not something that we've seen recently in politics. And it's good to see people who actually have records of doing these things and being successful at it with lots of support.
We have free lunches. You have, right? I mean, Tara had free lunch. They like in this county they did.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have breakfast. They have free lunches. Andy, pushed that through, I think. So
they didn't have it when I was in school, but they started it. I mean, they had a free lunch program that you could get in, but they didn't start free lunches.
Yeah, you did it by income. So now they do it by everybody. They let everybody have it.
Yeah.
That way you don't know who's, who's who don't have the money for it and who does. So.
And Purple Rhymes with Orange is from Minnesota. I'm on the Minnesota Medicaid plan. It's the best health insurance I've ever had. There you go. I mean, just an excellent choice for VP. Let's continue here. I guess the part I'm waiting to come up. It's towards
and
the
he
end.
has but he has a connection with people. You look at that man.
Yeah.
I mean, he don't have he don't have the slick, Mitch McConnell line ass talk. I mean, look at him. He's a hunter. He's he actually in the mornings puts on a little like video thing on fixing cars. He does like some kind of little fix it video or something every morning, like where he tells you how to change the something in, I don't know, the carburetor in a 1982, whatever. He does that.
I wasn't aware of that actually, so that's
Tim Miller showed how run a, he was like, he can do everything, fix your car, shoot you some supper.
Yeah. How you doing, Scott? It makes such a difference when politicians can speak with positivity, passion, and a little progressiveness. Yeah. I think that blinker fluid. Yeah, I used to always. I
ran out of blinker fluid. Mine's out of blinker fluid. I gotta get some.
All right, let's keep going.
By the way, as you heard, I was one of the best shots in Congress, but in Minnesota, we believe in the Second Amendment, but we also believe in common sense gun violence laws.
Yeah. He won the shooting competition for they have a marksman thing for all of Congress, and he won it a couple of times, I think. So he's won a couple of shooting things.
Yeah.
Vice President Harris' idea of freedom is a ticket for education to be that ticket to the middle class, not crippling debt. Air that's clean, water that's pure, communities that are safe. A place where we settle our political differences not through violence, but with our votes. And that's what this election's about. What direction will this country go in? He's not going back. Well, Donald Trump would damn sure take us backwards. Let's be clear about that. And don't believe him when he plays dumb. He knows exactly what Project 2025 will do to restrict our freedoms.
He's still done.
To rig the economy to help the super rich. If Trump gets a chance to return, he's going to pick up exactly where he left off 4 years ago. Only this time, it will be much, much worse. Raising costs on middle-class family. He will repeal the Affordable Care Act, no doubt about it. He'll gut Social Security and Medicare. And when somebody tells you they believe him. He said he'd ban abortion across this country, and he'll do it, whether or not Congress is there or not. Donald Trump's not fighting for you or your family. He never sat at that kitchen table like the one I grew up at, wondering how we were going to pay the bills. He sat at his country club up in Mar-a-Lago, wondering how he can cut taxes for his rich friends. And I got to tell you, his running mate shares his dangerous and backward agenda for this country.
Actually, he's worse.
I agree. He is worse.
Trump is just going along with all this shit. If Trump was, if like the other side was supporting him, he'd be all for all this stuff as long as he could do what he wanted to do and be be like the celebrated person that brought it up. He don't care. He was a Democrat all the time anyway until Obama. He was always a Democrat because he said that the economy was always better under Democrats. That's what he said. I've
Right.
got, you know, there's video of him.
Oh yeah, yeah, and he hated Trump.
And he don't care. He's abortion. He's had abortion. He's had paid for abortions. He didn't. He used to not hate trans people. He used to allow them in his beauty pageants. I mean, you know, he's not. He's none of these are his. But J.D. Vance is, you know, weird little
piece of shit
Nazi dude, and he used to not be like that either. He's like flip flopped all the way around too. I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Those are my sentiments. Thanks for coming.
Him and
John.
Roseanne Barr ate the same pill.
Yeah. John came. He's watching over on Robin's channel. This we simulcast this every week, so you can support us in either place. You can go over to Robin's channel and watch. You can come over here and watch. Anywhere you want to. And let me. Sorry to jump in the middle of what we're doing here and say this. Don't leave yet, everybody, because we've got something special for you coming after.
Oh yeah, I got a special little video for y'all.
Yeah, I actually picked a different video, but it's
did you find a better one?
Yeah. But I've set up what's called a link tree, so now PC can just put my link tree link in the description or in the chat. And you can go click there and you can see all my links to everything I'm doing. I think it even gives you a live feed of my Instagram page, which I just now started as well. Linktree is awesome. I recommend for creators who are trying to give links to all their stuff, set that up. It's so easy, and it's one spot for everything, and just great stuff. So I just wanted to talk about that. But all right, let's keep going with this.
J.D. Vance literally wrote the foreword for the architect of the Project 2025 agenda.
Yep.
You know, I thought about that. Do you think that like he wasn't really Trump's pick, that it was kind of pushed on Trump because that's the person to make sure that he carries out Project 2025?
No, Don Jr. and them pushed Don Jr. and I'm not sure it wasn't. I don't think it was Eric. I think it was one of the other ones that was pushed J.D. Vance on him. I don't know that. I think that. I think that J.D. I think that him and J.D. they'll clash, because I don't think that Trump will like it. And we hadn't talked about that though. Did you like? By the way, J.D. scheduled his rally in the same town that Kamala and them rally was in today.
Yeah.
Okay. And he goes over there and tries to like walk on her plane.
Oh yeah, I know. Tries to chase her down. Yeah.
And they shoot him away, and he told him that he just wanted to see what his plane was going to look like, the plane that he was going to be using.
Yeah. And wanted to say hi to the vice president. Like, if I was her and I knew he was coming, I would have got on the plane faster. That he's a weirdo. And we get there here in a minute, but he's just a strange.
I'd get me a cross too. Like every time he came around, I'd like point it at him, like, you know how they.
Yeah. He's a strange cat. I mean, and it's cool.
Vampire.
I mean, I'm weird and strange in my own way, but like I'm also not running for vice president like with just ideas that don't match that of most Americans. You know, I'm not trying to. It's whenever your strangeness takes other people's rights away and is completely against what most Americans want, it's worse. It's a different kind of strange. You know, there's like the strange eccentric person, and then there's the creepy guy that nobody talks to, right? Like
that had sex with a couch.
Yeah.
He didn't actually do that, I know, but it's funny, and the couch jokes just keep it coming all the time. He even told Tim even gave a couch joke, actually.
From what I've heard of it, it does have some good ideas. I can see that maybe it is too black and white. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Project 2025, and y'all can talk about it later. I would be very interested in knowing what those good ideas are because I've read it.
Yeah, I didn't see any good ideas anywhere, but that's let's keep going though, and not
Like
getting to
all
that.
the regular people I grew up with in the heartland, JD studied at Yale, had his career funded by Silicon Valley billionaires, and then wrote a bestseller trashing that community. Come on! That's not what middle America is. And I gotta tell you, I can't wait to debate the guy. That is if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. So, you see what I did there?
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, she's loved it. This is what Biden wouldn't do this. Biden didn't do this much. I mean, he would a little bit, but he has just gotten to where he's just too tired to do it, I guess, all the time. But yeah.
Yeah. Look at Kamala's face.
I know she just looks happy, don't she? Which I imagine she is. I mean, I can't imagine what it'd be like to be her right now, and just riding this wave, and just I mean, it would be just like so unreal. Like you'd be like, I don't, I'm afraid to wake you up. I'm afraid that I'll wake up tomorrow and it won't even be. I mean, and I want her in there so bad. I want to. I'm working for her campaign. Actually, I volunteering for her campaign because I want to be part of the first woman president in the United States. It took a long fucking time for us to get it.
I don't care to have a conversation with anyone about Project 2025 if they want to have it, but here, let me just explain to you what you're going to have to overcome before we get into that conversation. You see this list of things right here? There's none of these things that are positive, and they're harmful and hurtful to most Americans and many, 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 many people. So if something about city management or something is something you agree with in it, and you think that's worth voting for all of these things to take effect, then maybe you need to reassess your priorities. That's just, and that paper right there, it's available on my community tab if you want to go look at it. Because one minor petty reason to used to agree with a whole list of bigoted, hateful, awful, hurtful, fascist positions doesn't really do it. That's not an argument. That's an excuse. But I digress. We can talk about it later.
Yes, you're supposed to. I told him to call in.
Yeah.
Call in.
LBJ spread the story that his opponent liked to have sex with animals. One of LBJ's aides said, "We can't prove that he's a pig fucker." I know that, replied Johnson. I just want to hear him deny it. Yeah. That's a politics game, right?
I don't mind calling Trump a pig fucker.
Yeah. We can do that. Anyway, I mean, whenever you're looking at what we have to choose from here, before a lot of people were upset and was like, it's two bad choices. We've got Biden, who's old and out of it, sometimes when he's talking, and
it was dreaded.
Regardless of the truth of that was the perception. And Trump,
because we knew he was going to lose.
Yeah, Trump we knew he was going to lose, and stole national secrets and committed sexual assault and 34 counts of fraud he's been found guilty of, and many, many, many other charges across the country, and maybe more to come too. So whenever we're looking at like these two things are not on the same level. We have two people that want to make America better and want to improve the lives of most Americans, and have I mean, imagine this, having rich people pay their fair share. Oh no. Like
Have nice things.
Yeah. We, it's really been you have one person that has these extreme views, Trump, and his running partner now, JD Vance, who have just these extreme views that nobody supports. Yet,
yeah, they're radical ones.
Yeah,
I mean, that's radical.
I mean, if you look up the definition of extremism or radical or any of those things, we would find that Trump and JD Vance are the radical folks here. I mean, we just heard something we don't hear from Trump. We heard their positions on policies, common sense gun laws. They don't want the government involved in medical decisions to do with women's health. They want kids to feel safe in schools. They want people to have insurance. I mean, these are all things that are actual policies that improve the lives of Americans. And you don't hear any of that from the other side. All we hear is ad hominem attacks, culture war issues.
Millions of people are coming to the border. Millions of people are coming across the border.
And all these people are coming across the border.
Crime is rampant, and trans people are taking our kids away from us. And that's it.
I think it's just insane to even give Trump a bit of, I don't know, to like Trump at all based on his arguments about the border, whenever the best border bill, the most conservative border bill ever to be proposed, that would have done exactly the things that they asked to have happen, when Trump personally shut that down and then turns around and makes comments about the border.
And they know it. I mean, he didn't keep it a secret. They know it, and they still just pretend it didn't happen. And don't even go. And I just want to say one thing about the Kamala Biden quitting. I want to tell Jay Bundy that he was right the whole time. He just kept railing and railing and railing, wanting Biden to step down, and I kept fighting with him over it. And he was right. You're right, Jay. You're right.
Yeah,
very smart man.
And Daniel,
you have 2 PhDs and I have none.
Why not? Daniel, I'm not trying to be mean to you or anything, and we can talk about it. You can even click that Linktree link, and it's in the description and the chat. Click that Linktree link and send me an email or whatever, and we can talk about it through email. You don't have to come on the show or nothing. Just if you want to talk about it, we can talk about it. I'm not trying to be mean to you, but it's an extreme position to say that Project 2025 is beneficial when I don't think it is. But we can
say hi to What too. What came in? I was going to say hi to.
Yeah. What's up? What? All right. All right. So as I promised, we have something kind of funny.
This is my gift to y'all.
Yeah. So there's no sound to this, so we can just kind of.
Okay.
I took the sound out on purpose.
Okay. Yeah, you don't get.
Yeah. Rather than having somebody talk about it, I wanted to just watch what happened because, I don't know. Anyway, this person's name. Oh no! Stop right there. Let's go back to the beginning. Anthony Amoretti, an Italian pole vaulter in the Olympics. He is, I think this is wasn't it like 5 meters? Something like that.
I don't know. I didn't get any details. I was too busy watching the video.
Yeah. I bet you are. This was his attempt to get into the finals for the pole vaulting competition in the Olympics of Paris. So, here's a pretty good pole vault by him. You see, he's good. He can get it. Oh, he hit the pole. What happened there? So Anthony, unfortunately, gets hung up by his manhood on the pole here. And it's it's a funny, embarrassing thing to have happen, I guess. But you
I
know,
thought athletes wore cups, but now he
probably
doesn't.
not for
I mean,
this because
his shit is just hanging around. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And
Look at the hog on that guy.
they said that the announcer said that he may have lost the gold medal, but they was pretty sure that he left with 3 or 4 phone numbers.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what do you say? I mean, like, really, it's like that's an awful thing to happen, and I'm sure he was embarrassed. But at the same time, it's like, well, you know, like you're gonna have to.
And I thought that the Republicans were just chasing down some other trans person again. You know what I mean? Because they're always talking about people's genitals. And I kept hearing them talk about bulge. And I said, these motherfuckers are back on somebody's genitals again. And then I finally watched the video of it. And I was like, no wonder they were talking about his genitals.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard it last night. And I was like, they were talking about somebody pole vaulting and penis. And I was like, what? What does that have to do with anything? And yeah, so
put that pole away, Jimmy said.
Yeah, what an awful curse to, you know, he's, you know, it's, but you know, for real though, I guess it is, it has to be really embarrassing. And
every guy that I know, every guy friend I got would love to be known worldwide for how big their dick is.
I was this close to making it into the finals at the Olympics.
That would be like the top thing that they want to be famous for. They could dream about that all their lives.
Yeah, everybody's going to call him a liar for the rest of his life when he tells the story about how he almost won a gold medal.
He's got a video. He's got a video.
I almost won that gold medal if it wasn't for this huge cock.
Crazy.
Yeah, there he is. Again, look, I mean, he's good. He does good. He makes that one. And just an awful thing. And you know, in the full video, he hits that pretty hard. I imagine he had some swelling afterwards. He definitely had some before. But hey, there's actually been this is actually true that since this happened, people in the adult entertainment industry have reached out to him.
Well, you know they have.
Yeah. I mean, look at.
They'll dress him up as he'll be like the Olympic guy. You know what I mean? They'll have him doing the Olympics, and there's a whole little, skit you can do there.
They're gonna have him pole vaulting in a different way, huh?
On one of them gymnastics things, and
that's just so much fun. That's it. You know, again, I imagine that right now, being an athlete at the level he's at, he's more embarrassed than anything. But you'll have to excuse me if I don't feel too bad for him, though.
I just knew everybody would enjoy that. I'd really do.
No. Great thing to include. Actually, I think it's good to wrap everything up on a funny note. You know, like we talk. Of course, you know, today wasn't all negative. Usually, when we have these talks about politics, we have to talk about all the awful things that the right's doing, but. Today we got to hear some good news. Wonderful. Yeah, and it's great to see everybody excited. And remember, folks, though, none of it matters unless you get out there and vote. You got to go.
And if you've got time, sign up at KamalaHarris.org, and you can write out postcards. You can do phone banks. You can knock on doors. You can and check to see if you need poll workers in your area. Like nationwide, we're like 10,000 poll workers or something like that, short of having enough poll workers. And like in my area, they're all right wing. I'm thinking about volunteering, but But they're, so we need poll workers. We need people to fill out postcards. I don't have handwriting for that, but there's something that you can do for Kamala. You don't have to donate if you don't have money, but if you can write good, you can fill out postcards and send them to mail, or make phone calls, or just anything. At least try to find one person that you're going to take to vote, or get to that's going to vote with Kamala, that you can. Maybe especially if it's a new person that's never voted. So like grab a couple of teenagers and jerk them up there.
Yeah.
Because we got the young vote back. But I'm afraid Israel's going to blow that for us. But we got the young vote back right now. They like Kamala and they like him, and so that's good because we had lost them.
Yeah, no, it's awesome to see people back excited about the election and stuff. And Deviant Outcast is here. I just seen
Deviant,
earlier
did you see the video?
That you became a YouTube member.
Did you see the video, Deviant?
Do we need to show it? Oh, I don't. Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah. Did you see the pole vaulter video yet, Deviant Outcast? But
no.
Okay, hold on a second.
Let's look at it again.
Well, we gotta look at that thing one more time here. Let me go find it here. I got it handy. Anthony Ammirati. Anthony Ammirati. That's it. All right, here we go. You ready? So that guy's Anthony Ammirati. He's a great pole vaulter in the Olympics. Let's get a little closer. Not that there's any problem seeing what happened there, but he was pole vaulting to get into the finals, and unfortunately, his pole hit the pole, and he didn't make it into the finals. But as Robin said, he probably got a couple phone numbers.
Yeah, you got 3 phone numbers.
Yeah.
That's what the people that were doing the reporting said. They were like, well, he lost the medal, but we do think he got some phone numbers.
Yeah. But yeah, happy to show that once again. He at the time, though, as you'll see here, he wasn't real happy about it. That's an upset man with a huge cock. But yeah, if it's swollen, I'm kind of curious, because I don't think it could have got a lot bigger. Anyway, you got anything else today, Robin?
No, I was thinking about saying something about that, but I ain't going to.
Okay. Mine was filthy enough.
Thank y'all for coming, everybody. I'm so glad to see everybody. Thank you, PC. I love you. You do so much, so good, so good, so much work, so much work.
Yes.
And Purple, I'm so happy to see you too. And we hate that we're still in your governor, but you do have also since he's leaving, the first indigenous person will be a governor, because his vice president is an indigenous. I don't know what tribe she's with, but she's an indigenous woman, and she becomes governor. So she will be the United States' first indigenous person as a governor too.
Awesome. Well,
history. I'll make it all around.
Let's wrap it up here then. I really appreciate everybody that took the time to come and listen to what we have to say about it, and to
even if you don't agree, Daniel.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, even if you don't agree with us, I mean, you can't make an informed decision without at least hearing what's out there. And so I really appreciate everybody that took the time to come and watch the show and things. And I appreciate even if you watch through Robin's channel over there. Glad to have you. Glad to glad to see people visiting Robin's channel. Her channel is linked in the chat there, and I'll add it to the description of this video too, because I don't think I put it in there. But I really appreciate it. And if you want to support either my channel or Robin's channel, the easiest thing you can do that's free is just like and subscribe. Now, if you want to help support financially and stuff, there's ways to do that too. And you can, again, click on that Linktree link and see all the various ways you can do it through PayPal and Amazon wish lists and Patreon and memberships and all that stuff's there. So if you want to do those things, and each of those things, like I do members videos every week, and I put a lot of unedited content and with extra stuff in it over on my Patreon. So there's always that stuff too. But again, I appreciate you just coming and listening to me. Thank everybody so much for coming. The next show coming up will be this Sunday with Occult Examiner. I'll be talking to her a little bit. I was on her channel not too long ago. She's going to come visit mine. But again, really appreciate you coming and watching, guys. Have a great one. Later.
Bye, y'all.